Okay, so welcome to tonight's All Partner Training session, which is all about Easter. Apologies if you're expecting to see Holly, not me. Unfortunately, Holly is ill, so you're stuck with me for this one. So I have, I think, over planned for this in my panic of suddenly having to last minute do this training session. So I've basically brought half our office home that's now spread around my house. But hopefully it will give you lots of Easter inspiration and Easter excitement. So I will get started and I will share my screen. Okay, so let's start from the beginning. So I've also got, so in our product sessions, if you're new and you've not been to one before, we have all our focus books and then we have a theme. So this month's theme is Easter. January, one of the biggest selling themes of books for you guys was Easter books, and it was for Usborne Publishing in general, actually. So people are definitely buying Easter books already. I'm clearly not very organised because I definitely am not doing that. But obviously play to the organised in your following, in your customer groups, because people are buying Easter books. I've also got March focus books. So these are the new titles that have just come out. So some of them aren't Easter themed. So I'm doing the ones that are non-Easter themed first to then go fully in on the Easter books. So the first book to show you is a new, it's a new series, but the partners that have been partners for a very long time have reliably informed me it's a remake of an old series, but I absolutely love this series. So this is Lift and Look Trucks. The reason I think this series is amazing is, so I have a 2.5-year-old who is very, very into vehicles. And before this series, I think you either have the that's not my tractor type vehicle books, or you have the peep inside vehicle books, which if your child is slightly younger, are just a bit too old. So this series I think is brilliant, and there are more vehicles to come. So it's large format, it's super, super sturdy, it's got flaps. With a lot of Usborne books, I think what Usborne does better is the books tell a story, particularly if you're a parent and you're tired. You don't always want to be making up a story or having to kind of ad lib as you're reading. This is great. It goes through the story of all the things that happen with the trucks, with easy to open flaps for children to open and engage with. So you've got a recycling truck, you've got, no other description other than a big red truck. On this one, you've got a dump truck at the docks, you've got a bulldozer, you've got my son's personal favourite, a fire engine, and it contextualises all the trucks as well in their role and what they're doing. And if you've got a child that's really into facts, even from an early age, I think this is just the perfect stepping stone from the vehicle-themed younger books before you get to the peep inside vehicles as well. So this is Lift and Look Trucks. It's $7.99 and I think will be an absolute staple for your market stalls, baby and toddler groups, etc. So I like to do a comparison with other things we've got, just so if your customer likes this, what else could you sell them? What could you sell them next? So we have got Lift and Look Diggers coming in May. So if your customers like this and you've got regular repeat stalls, that's quite good that that's coming. So you know that if you've got people that are buying this, then you can sell them diggers in May. This is where I'm going to come and stop because I've nowhere to put all the books. These three really, I think, are all I would say this is the youngest of them. So you've got the Slider Sounds book. My son at 2.5 does still quite like these, but they are lacking, I would say, in the plot department. So if you're not familiar with these sell really well for partners. So definitely get on board with them. But you have sliders and you move them from one side to the other side. Actually quite easy for kids to do as well. And it makes a different sound as you go from one side to the next. I think there are about 4 of these now. 2 are vehicle themed, 2 are animal themed. So again, a great one. If your customers like one, then you can sell them the others in the series. Yeah, my son thoroughly enjoys these still at 2, and I think we've been going with them for about a year. So I think they've got a reasonable lifespan. Then You've got this one, which is the Things That Go sound book. So you've got a little storyline with different settings with the different animals. You've got questions that you can ask your child as you go through, and the different sounds of the different vehicles, which my son thoroughly enjoys. These are more expensive, so it's quite a good upsell if someone really likes the vehicle book and you want to upsell them on something else. This one's £12.99. The Slider Sounds ones are also £12.99. This is a real crowd pleaser. The Emergency Vehicles, Lights and Sounds book is also £12.99. This is one of my son's absolute favourite books. So again, if you've got people looking for Easter presents, also no reason why everything has to be Easter themed. You can definitely get them with the Lights and Sounds and the more novelty books. And then finally, this I think is the series I mentioned, the Peep Inside series, that I think sits a bit above the Lift and Look series. So this is the fire engine one. The flaps are smaller and the cardboard is slightly less thick, so it would be easier to tell. And again, there's a bit more information underneath the flaps. But again, why I like these ones is it follows a storyline, so you can find out about the fire engine whilst also following a general storyline. So nice if you're like me and clearly lack imagination at bedtime. But yeah, I think, again, if you are somewhere where you see the same people time and time again and the kids have kind of grown out of that one, this is a good one to recommend. Or if you've got a family with two children that both like vehicles, one's older than the other, I think it's nice to have kind of an older version of the younger ones that you're offering. So that's vehicles. You can tell I'm a little bit obsessed with vehicle, but it's mainly just because of my vehicle obsessed son. Moving on to this one, which Was That Your Bottom Bear? When I first started at Usborne 7 years ago, one of the bestseller books was Noisy Bottoms. If you're a partner that's been around a bit longer, you probably are familiar with that classic. I think these books are quite Marmite. People either love them or hate them, but kids are clearly going to like them. So this goes through different animals in the zoo and their bottoms and the sound that their bottoms make. It's actually only £7.99 as well, so it's one of our lower price point sound books if you've got customers that feel like the Slider Sounds are maybe too expensive for them, or if you want to have different varying price points on your stores. I think these smaller format books are good to have as well. And then you get a special symphony of sounds at the end of the book for your children to enjoy. So Was That Your Bottom Bear? If your customers like that one, Was That Your Bottom Dinosaur? Already exists, so you can sell them that one. Or I thought they might also like some of these other more novelty themed books. So the Dance With series, these are £12.99. There's quite a few of them. This one is the dinosaurs one, where children do a little dance routine as they go through the book. If you've got any school events coming up, I've seen Sarah Singleton use this book with reception and she got them to do the dance routine in the showing when she went around all the classrooms, which they thoroughly enjoyed. So if you have this lying around and you want to do something a bit different at your school events, then definitely do that. Or if you've got a baby or toddler group, maybe not baby group unless they're particularly advanced, but really fun one to do with nurseries. I think at a nursery event, if you were doing something when you were going along, this would be really fun as well. I can see Kerry, Himalaya Vision. She loves the Don't Tickle. I've got Bear on the screen. I've got Cow that's coming out soon with me. And I feel like Cow was sorely missing. It's farm themed, which again, I think is great for you guys for Easter. It's not coming out until April, I believe, which I think is a bit annoying because obviously a bit late for you guys for Easter, but perfect for summer. But yeah, Cow is coming, which is something to be excited about. And these are £12.99, but I know a lot of partners say they find these easier to sell than the much cheaper That's Not My Book. So definitely don't rule them out. Again, my son absolutely loves these books, has done since he was about 6 months old. They're just much more fun and interactive. And I think they last a bit longer than the That's Not My, which your kids might grow out of much sooner. And finally, for the fans of novelties, the Peculiar Pop-Ups series. There's the hippo one there. This is Get That Monster Out of Here. So as you would expect, they are pop-up books. They've got a funny storyline to really get kids giggling, laughing, enjoying them. Again, they would be a fun one to have at your events if you were doing a more interactive storytelling. session. So that's that one. Going quite quickly just because I have many books to show you all. The next one, on a completely separate note, is Why Do I Sometimes Feel Angry? These books are selling really well for you guys. Obviously, there is, particularly in the UK national curriculum, I'm not as familiar with other national curriculums, but there is a real focus on early years and getting children to talk about their feelings from a very young age and getting children to work through and understand how they might be feeling. So there are a variety of different emotions that have books about them in this series, but they are small, if the flat books, they're £7.99. And they go through questions and answers. So this one starts off about why might I feel angry? So they've got an example of like one child getting 2 scoops of ice cream, the other one only getting 1. Someone's on crutches, so they can't run around and play football like their friends. Like someone's knocked over their sister's tower. Very focused on situations that children of that age group might find themselves annoyed about. The author of these books always sends an email round when she's doing any of these books asking if anyone has children of the age these books are aimed at and what their children have got angry about, have felt sad about, have asked questions about. So it's all based on real children and real experiences. This page I think is really great, which asks, is it bad to feel angry? And again, gets children to understand that it's fine to feel angry. It's just how you express yourself when you are angry that is maybe the thing to consider. Talks about how anger is expressed in different ways. Coping mechanisms. If you are feeling angry, how can you feel more calm? And this idea that you will feel angry again, but you've now hopefully got the strategies to deal with it. I think if you are working with nurseries, I would say this should be a staple for any nursery to have in their setting, but also really good for parents that want a method to help their child work through their feelings. Why Should I Say Sorry is coming up soon in April. There's a couple of other examples. The very first question answer series, there's loads in the series. So there's ones that are more like what is snow, like kind of more to do with nature, the weather, the world around us. And then there's this whole strand of feelings ones. And then if you want to go slightly older, there's the next level up from those ones, which are larger format in comparison. So these are bigger. This one is Why Should I Share? There's also What Are Feelings? So this is much more question and answer based. The other one is question answer based, but I think this like has like a more thematic plot to it. This is very much like question answer, and the answers are all found underneath the flap. So again, just slightly older, so it would be good if you work with primary schools for them to have for reception, again for nurseries to have as well in their EYFS section. It's well worth just looking on the website, like use the website to increase your knowledge of all the books we've got out there, because there is a vast array. Next is a real crowd pleaser, a new adventure game book. If you are new to Usborne, I can see people using the chat, which is great. Please do use the chat to share your thoughts and views of what's selling well for you at events and what you would say are absolute must-haves for you. But I think it's safe to say this is a must-have. Well, not this particular one, but an adventure game book is an absolute must-have to have at any event. And I do have a video, which I realise this happens every time that I need to make sure the share is showing the sound. And last time I had to go to a new thing because share sound I remembered because they've changed where the sound button is. Okay, let's play this and hope this works.
The Goblin's Revenge is a fantasy adventure gamebook where the hero of the story is you. Prepare for menacing monsters, ghostly magic, and a thrilling race against time.
Oh.
When an evil sorcerer murders your best friend, you get your revenge by stealing his greatest treasure and going on the run. With a horde of undead warriors on your trail and a series of blood-curdling dangers ahead of you, it would be a terrifying task for anyone. but you're just a goblin, which makes things even more challenging. With fiendish picture puzzles to solve and an exciting dice-based combat system, The Goblin's Revenge is an epic story gamebook that will have you gripped from beginning to end. Which path will you take?
So these books are absolutely amazing. If you remember from your childhood, the Choose Your Own Adventures, where basically you get given options, you pick an option, you go to that page in the book, and then you see how you're getting on in this quest. There are loads of downloadable resources for these books, like printable logbooks. So if someone doesn't want to write in their book or wants to reuse it, you can do that. We were talking to Shawnee from Pixel Secondary and the education company the other day about these being great for form time reading for secondary schools. So secondary schools are having a huge push on form time reading. And we were saying how fun it would be to do this as a whole class, to see how far you could get through the book. Really great for getting reluctant readers involved in that competitive nature of reading, of seeing if they can beat their friends and get further along this book. She thought it was an amazing idea, and she talks to thousands of teachers every day. So yeah, if you are working with schools, I think this would be a really fun one to suggest that they get for form time reading, and yeah, just a general must have for all your events. So there's also Shadow Chaser, Curse Breaker, League of Thieves, and more of these are coming in the future as well. I know lots of you have repeat bookings regularly, particularly at schools, and the kids want the next ones. There are more and more coming. Much younger than those ones are these ones, the puzzle adventures. So this one is out currently, and it is the Missing Unicorn. So these are much simpler, and you don't choose your way through the path. Like, it's a chronological way of going through the book, and you solve the puzzles as you go along. These are pitched at 7+. There's also a Super Squirrel one that's coming as well. That's also, I believe, pitched at 7+, but does feel younger than these puzzle adventures. I know there was some feedback on this one that it feels quite girly. The Mummy Mystery is coming out in September. So that one, I think, should kind of resolve that issue. And I think then if people know that they like this, and they won't be so bothered about the fact it's got a unicorn and it's purple, but really kind of fun, interactive ways for parents to enjoy books with their children. I personally don't remember Agent Arthur's Jungle Journey. I think it was slightly before my time, but lots of people seem to, and it is that real nostalgia hit. So this is another puzzle adventure book. Again, it's aimed quite young, but the illustrations look older. There are sample pages online on the website that you can look through and share with your customers. So that one's coming in August. I think although it's pitched younger and it's quite simple, I think because the illustrative style seems older, you could probably age it up more easily than you could with these ones. So that is Adventure Game Books. Next is Shadow Hall Academy and the Whispering Walls. Is this a proof copy? This is a proof copy, so that is the actual cover. This is not. So this book is by Phil Hicks. He wrote the Aveline Jones series, this one. So it is a thriller book that is middle grade, so aimed at 9 to 12-year-olds. It's set, I believe, in like the 80s. They're trying to go kind of more like Stranger Things vibes, and it's about a girl who starts at an all-girls boarding school, and there's a lot of spooky goings on, and with her roommates she's trying to uncover the mystery of the spooky goings on and like protect her and her newfound friends. Some really great female friendships in there. It's proper kind of page turning, spine tingling. It is spooky to read as an adult. It does have that kind of thriller sense to it, that you're desperately trying to solve that mystery. So if you've got customers that really want this book kills, but you think they're just too young for it, I think Shadow Hall Academy would answer that. I think Aveline Jones looks very gender neutral. I would say this doesn't as much, and it feels a bit more female to read than Aveline Jones does, which I think is something to be aware of. I think it seems slightly older maybe as well, but just really, really good thriller. Thrillers are definitely very much on trend at the moment and are what children are wanting to read and what is selling well. So I would say it's well worth having these, particularly if you've got World Book Day events coming up, definitely well worth having a copy of Shadow Hall Academy for your World Book Day events. And also the Aveline Jones, just because I think they're a bit more gender neutral, this series, and there are 3 in this series. Then you have, oh, and I've done some comparisons, which I struggled with, I have to say, just because I think it's only Phil Hicks that we've really got that is doing this. I haven't actually read The Midnight Switch, but Samuel Halpin's other book, The Peculiar Pegs of Riddling Wood, is really quite spooky and creepy. So I think, again, children that enjoy that, I think, would enjoy his books. I would say they're definitely slightly younger than Shadow Hall Academy. And then I've included these 2 because of the more like adventurous mystery solving element. Like neither of these are spooky, but I would say there are kind of like heart and mouth moments of both of these where you really don't want the bad guys to get to the children. So I think if it's more the kind of like adventure, fast-paced, action-packed that they're into as well, then I think these books are a good offering as well for children that enjoyed Aveline Jones or Shadow Hall Academy. Moving on to The Fights That Make Us, which I have recently finished and is absolutely incredible. I would say it's Sarah Haggis-Holt's best book yet. So this is about a person called Jessie, and they are non-binary. I think Sarah Haggis-Holt's books are really great for parents to read as well, to understand more the world that their children are living in that perhaps wasn't as talked about or understood when they were teenagers. So I think really, really crucial for parents to read books like this too. And this book is about Jessie and Jessie's best friend, who is a really, really great character. At the start of the novel, you discover that Jessie's mum's cousin has died. They lost touch with the mum's cousin, and they go to the funeral and discover in her house this old box which is full of her things, including a diary. And Jessie starts to piece together their cousin's life through this diary. So you've got the present day with Jessie at school, and you've got the past with their cousin who was writing in the 80s. And it's all centered around Section 28, which was an area of law which forbid schools talking about anything to do with LGBT relationships in schools. It was around like shockingly recently, like when I was at school, I've discovered it was still in place, which is really awful when you discover that. It's such a powerful book, and her books all deal with LGBTQ plus themes, but this one has the historical element as well, which I personally really enjoyed reading. I love a split narrative where you're constantly racing to try and find the next person's perspective if you've got one perspective that you prefer from the other. I'd say this would be great for year 6, and also if you've got secondary school events, really, really great for those as well. Also, if you've got if you're doing adult book clubs, I just think it's a really, really brilliant read that is just really important for people to read. She has got multiple other books that all feature different LGBTQ plus characters. And I think another key thing to note about her, Sarah Haggis-Holt's books, is they're just really easy reads. They all feature characters that are at secondary school, so I think it's just got that real relatability factor. I would compare her books to Tamsin Winter. So if you've got children that like Tamsin Winter, I think they'd also like Sarah Haggis-Holt, and the same as Kimberly Whittam's Quiet Storm. So they're all about characters that are in secondary school that are dealing with various personal issues, and they're just easy reads, great for reluctant readers that just want a break from the textbooks that they're reading at school. Next up, so now we're hitting Easter really hard. So Find the Duck. I'm trying to like rearrange the picture table to move forward. So Find Hi Duck at Easter. So this is a simple look and find book. It's a board book. The pages are super sturdy, which would be quite hard to chew, rip, etc. So basically does what it says on the tin. You've got a duck to find on each page, which my son would really enjoy. You've got kind of questions as you go through of different places to look for the little duck. And my personal favourite part about these books is this page at the back, where it encourages you to go back through the book and find all these other images. So I think it's that great added value that Usborne always does something that just gives a little more value to books, which I think is fab. So this is all the extra things to find in the book. It's £5.99, so really quite affordable Easter present for children. You've got various other Find the Duck books. I think Find the Duck on the Farm would also be a crowd pleaser at Easter. And then other kind of look and find type books. There's an offer on currently on these little lift and look books, which I think will be a really nice Easter present for children. These are really, really lovely books, beautifully designed. And it's a look and find book to discover what's beneath the flaps, and it's kind of that question and answer, search and find book. So yeah, really, really great offer, and feels, I mean, I think you can get away with anything as an Easter present, but the little lift and look books are really sweet. They're £5.99 on their own. So again, like very low price point, quite affordable, but they just do a bit more than a general book because they've got those flaps to look through and enjoy and talk about. And this is one of my absolute favourite series. Both my children really loved it when they were really tiny. So this is the Are You There Little series. They're £5.99. They're absolutely beautiful. I think they're really nice baby shower gifts, or like just first baby gifts, particularly I think for like your beige mums, they would really appreciate an Are You There Little Bunny, etc. book, because they're just really beautiful. And they've got really nice finger trails throughout for children to touch, and the peep throughs are really quite obvious for children to look through and find. And again, it's that look and find style, but you've got the peep throughs, the finger trails, and there's a lot of kind of touchy feely patches throughout. I just think they're so beautifully designed, really affordable, and there's lots in the series. The illustrations are really high contrast, and yeah, my children love these from a really early age, so I just highly recommend them. And I think people always forget about this series, and I just think it's a fab series. This book is very new, so I've shown this before at an all partner training. So this is a look and find animals book, aimed at quite young children, very large flaps that take you through different animal habitats, which I really enjoyed. Pretty sturdy, and at the back you've got all the different animals you met across the book, which I really enjoyed as well. So great for expanding children's vocabulary. I think would be another really fab present. This one is £9.99 if you wanted to spend a little bit more, and it's a much larger format than the other books. But yeah, Usborne has loads and loads of different look and find variations on a theme. And then you have got this one, which one is this one? Here we go. Which is Usborne Life Cycles, One Little Chick. So this does what it says on the tin. So it talks you through the life cycle of a chicken. If you're ever wondering what comes first, the chicken or the egg, in this book it's the chicken that is laying the eggs. So you see the development of the chick inside the egg, which I know is something they learn about at nurseries as well, or if you go to any farm park, they always have this as well. So I think it's really fascinating for children to see what's going on inside an egg. You've got the egg hatching, the chick, really cute little chick tootling around, the chick growing up. Then the most controversial part of the book, in my opinion, is how the chicks create more little chicks. And according to this, it's the rooster does a little dance around the hen, and then 3 weeks later she's got her own chicks, and that's how it happens according to this book. This is part of, oh, where's my comparisons? No, Well, I don't know what happened to my comparisons. I must have deleted that slide. This is part of a series of other life cycle books. So again, really great for selling to nurseries or just parents that have curious children that want questions answered. I think if people like this, like that one, you've also got the Peep Inside series that I talked about before. There's a springtime one for children to find out more about the world around them. And my nephew is 5 and very fact focused, and he loved these books when he was younger just because they're so full of facts. So he'd devour these like my daughter would have devoured a picture book. So there's lots of lovely Peep Inside books. And then this one is an older version, which is Usborne Beginners, Eggs and Chicks. If you're not familiar with the Usborne Beginners series, partners that have been doing this a while will tell you, have these at your school events because they're really popular with kids. So these are on any topic you could imagine. They're fact-based books, they're $5.99. This one is about eggs and chicks, and you have a combination of like actual images, so actual pictures, you've got cartoons, more cartoon-like pictures in some of them. You've got a contents page, you've got different topics in there, and at the end you've also got a glossary, reference to Usborne quick links, and an index. They're great for schools to have in their library as well. The text is relatively simple, so good for children who are getting more confident in reading on their own. And they're just great if children don't particularly like fiction, they just want some facts, because there's so many topics. Also, if you've got a school and you've looked on their website and seen what they're studying, chances are we're going to have one of these books about whatever it is that they're studying. So if you're not familiar with this series, definitely take some along to your book fairs. If you are a partner that likes this series, please do write some of your bestsellers down below in the comments of what you find sells at book fairs in this series. So next up is a sticker book, which is Little Fur Stickers Easter Bunnies. So this is $5.99. The thing I love about Usborne sticker books, don't know if you've ever bought them from other publishers, stickers don't tend to be very sticky, and the pages, if your child sticks them all over the show then wants to correct them, they can't. These ones, the material of the pages means you can peel them off relatively easily, so your child can stick them back on in an appropriate place. Also, as with lots of Usborne books, magic painting, etc. included, there's text on all the pages, so it's not just a sticker book. You can read the text to your child to contextualize what they're doing, and it gives you some instructions. If your child's a free spirit like my son, they're just going to stick them all over the show. But if they're like my daughter, she likes to be told where she's putting her stickers. So you've got that option as well that suggests where you could put them. So this one is just, yeah, super cute. Everything you could want and more from an Easter book. The Usborne sticker books are great because they have perforated edges on the sticker pages, so you can rip them out really easily. So it's much easier for your child than going back and forth between the back of the book to the sticker to then try and find the page that the sticker goes on, that you can just tear out a bit from the book, find them the right page, and then they can go ahead with the stickers. They're pretty easy to peel off as well from quite an early age. So yeah, Usborne sticker books are just a far better quality than other sticker books. Like, there are sticker books galore to do with bunnies, Easter, everything else. If you're not a sticker dolly dressing convert yet, I personally prefer the little sticker dolly dressing because they're much smaller and easier to put in your bag. But I know lots of you say you find the bigger ones sell better. So there are Easter versions of both of those. They're not new, but it's great to keep churning them out every year. So yeah, if you're not familiar with sticker dolly dressing, basically you've got clothes at the back, you dress the characters in their outfits. My daughter is absolutely obsessed with them. And if you're stressing that people find these cheaper in the supermarket, great, let them discover them in the supermarket, let them get their children really into the series, and then let them come to you for all the other books in the series that they can't find in the supermarket, that they can get from you. So I wouldn't shy away from having these at your events, because they'll only be able to buy 1 or 2 in Tesco. They won't be able to buy the rest, which they certainly can buy from you. And if they've discovered their child really likes the series, then they'll be prepared to pay full price from you guys. Just a little teaser of Dogs and Puppies in the Little Fur Sticker series that is coming out in May. I'm a dog person, and like, it just looks exceptional. There is one that looks like my dog in that book, not on the front cover, which is a shame. But yes, Dogs and Puppies, I'm sure, will be a crowd pleaser for you guys when that comes out. There is also children's puzzles and games. Holiday, perfect size for taking on a plane, train. If your children aren't car sick, having in the car, having at a restaurant, wherever you might be, these are the perfect size for your children to enjoy. They're £4.99, they're super affordable. Again, I think a good one to have at a book fair. If a child has a £5 budget, it's nice for them to have something that they can choose and buy. And some children might not want something to read, they might want an activity book. So I'd say don't forget about books like these for your book fair, for your stalls. So loads and loads of different puzzles. As it says, there are 100 different ones. There are so many variants of these type of books. So you've got like general knowledge, crosswords. You've got general children's crosswords for holiday. My husband, I have actually bought these for in the past because he really enjoys a puzzle. Just to stop him, and pre-kids, to stop him annoying me on holiday when I wanted to read, I'd fob him off with a puzzle book like a child. I can't read on holiday anymore because my children are obviously too busy for that. But yes, I think great for adults as well as children. There's loads of different ones. So you've got like a travel games pad that's full of things to do. You've got larger format activity books and holiday activity books. So particularly with school holidays coming up, it's well worth reaching out to your customers as to, do they want any activity books for their children? Do they have holidays coming up and they want something for their kids to do while they're traveling? I think, yeah, definitely well worth having a look what is out there in terms of holiday activity books. And then none of these are new. So these are just general Easter joy. So I've already shown you Are You There, Little Bunny? That's not my everyone's familiar with. There are so many. There's Chick, there's Lamb, there's obviously Bunny, there's a goat one that's very cute. So there's like every variety of spring farm time animal you could possibly want in there. That's not my form. I don't have one to show you, but we do have bigger formats. Like that's not my, there's a unicorn one and a chick one where they come with a toy as well. And I think they're £16, so they're quite expensive. If you've got a grandparent that wants to buy something for a baby's first Easter, doesn't want to buy them chocolate, then this is going to be a really great present that feels quite special. We've also got these books, which are the puppet books. This is Poppy and Sam and the Bunny, and there is another one as well. I think there's Poppy and Sam and the Lamb. So again, you obviously have the little puppet on each page. These are £7.99 as well, so I think they're really good value for a fun puppet novelty book for Easter. Obviously, Poppy and Sam is a great one to have out there because a lot of people remember Poppy and Sam books from their own childhood. So yeah, definitely play on the market of the baby's first Easter and people wanting to buy a book rather than chocolate for a baby. Easter stories, I thought I'd throw in religion into there just to remember the real meaning of Easter. So we do have the Easter story in picture book form. I've got stuff piled everywhere. So we have got the Easter story in picture book form. Would be a good one to start for schools or just for parents that want their children to know that Easter is about more than chocolate and bunnies. So yes, there's the picture book form of that. Or again, you've got the full illustrated Bible stories. Both my children are christened and they got given an illustrated Bible stories from the church for their christening, which is very kind of them. Not an Usborne one, but they're clearly buying it from somewhere. So that could be another sales channel for you. Does your local church give illustrated Bibles to children that have been christened? Because they could definitely get them from you. And yeah, again, good for schools if they want to have those kind of books in their library. Loads of schools in the UK are Church of England schools that would want those kind of books. I don't know why I put the complete book of Farmyard Tales in there, because that is certainly not the story of Easter. But Farmyard Tales, my kids, we didn't have this one actually. We had the different format that's slightly slimmer than this, the bedtime stories one and the animal stories one, and both of them absolutely loved the Poppy and Sam stories. I gave one to my friend's daughter for her first birthday. She's obsessed with them as well. So if you're not familiar with the Farmyard Tales in their complete book format, I think they are the perfect present. This one is $14.99, or they're split into two $9.99 ones, which are the ones I've got. They're just really, really great stories. They're a good length, they're quite short. I've actually discovered now my daughter's 5 and learning to read. She can read quite a lot of them herself. So I think they're also really good for kids that are learning to read something that's a bit more interesting than what school is sending them home with. So I think you've got the real multi-functionality of the Poppy and Sam Farmyard Tales book. So don't know why I've shoved them in with the true meaning of Easter, but they're great stories regardless. Easter novelty. So loads and loads of different novelty books. There's an Easter sound book, there's a baby bunny version of the Lift and Look, there's a Finger Wiggly book, which I have to say, these slightly unnerve me because I don't really like my fingers pretending to be other things. But if you aren't weird like me and you have no issue with your fingers being a variety of things, then these books could be for you. So this is Finger Wiggly Easter Bunnies. Or to be fair, we've got one of these and my daughter does it for my son. So he gets the experience anyway, just from his older sister. So yes, again, these are quite cheap. These are $6.99. So they're good, fun, novelty books. You've got a play hide and seek. Do I have an example? Yes, I do. Yet another hide and seek book. This is a larger format, really big flaps to look for all the animals on the page, pretty sturdy, just yeah, really, really fun look and find book. There's loads of different animals as well. I've gone bunny, obviously, for stereotypical Easter themed, but there's loads of different animals for future reference. The Easter sound book is one of the smaller format, cheaper sound books. So this is $7.99. You've got some little cut-throughs in there as well, which I think children always enjoy looking through, poking their fingers through them and enjoying the sounds. I much prefer this type of sound book, which the majority of ours are, because I think they're easier for children to press and enjoy the kind of embedded sound books. We do have some sound books where they've got a panel on the side and you press the things on the side, but I think the embedded sound books are just much nicer. Easter activities, just in case you hadn't had enough Easter. I don't even know, I've lost control now of my books. They're absolutely everywhere. Mini books, if you want to, you are booksellers, it is your job to sell, so definitely commercialize as much as you can on the Easter, get people having the Easter boxes, do the shameless things that you vowed you'd never do for your children, but make your customers do them. So the fingerprinting ones are really cute. These are $3.99. You've got an Easter puzzle. I think most of the minis are $3.99, but I think some of them are $2.99, although those are being phased out. So you've got, some tiny minis, really cute little presents for children. If anyone, I don't know if you're in with any baby or toddler groups that are more independently run and they want to do Easter presents or nurseries or whatever, then the minis would be really cute. Again, they're very good to take with you wherever you're going. Magic painting has got on board with the Easter theme. So you've got the first magic painting, Easter eggs. You've got the slightly older Easter magic painting. You've got Easter colouring, Easter things to make and do. Basically, you name it. If you put Easter into the website, there is a lot of stuff that you can be using and enjoying. And finally, Easter is not Easter without farms. So again, if you type farm into your website, so much comes up. And one of Usborne's best-selling books across all sales channels is Farm Sounds. My children have it, thoroughly enjoyed it. Farms seem to sell well absolutely everywhere. it's a theme that just does not die out, doesn't grow old, whether your children are more into animals or the actual vehicles themselves, like the tractors. So many different farm books, which I have piled up everywhere. So you've got your farm sounds, which is your classic sound book with the embedded sounds. You've got a look inside a farm for like a slightly older version of the peep insides that I have been showing you before. They're a bit more text heavy. The text is slightly smaller and they've got more facts in than the peep inside ones, just because they're aged slightly older. You have got these ones, which there's a really great blog. It's quite old, but that was written by a partner who is also a nursery teacher, about the 199 Things books and how great these are for nurseries and for children and for language development. Loads and loads of different themes of these. So they're in like topical pages, and it's just a great vocabulary builder for children. Great for if you want to take them out and about to see what they can spot that's in the 199 Things books. But yeah, really, really good for vocabulary building. They're a really nice size format, a bit of a different shape for a book. And there is basically one of these for every topic a child could be interested in. We have got matching games. So this one is £9.99. And the good thing about all of Usborne's games and jigsaws is they all come with a book, so you've got that added selling point. So this one, you've got the farm matching game, and it often gives you different ways you can play the game for different versions to enjoy with children. And then the book will tell you about all the animals, vehicles, etc. that are featured in the game. There's one for really young children, the two-piece matching farm animals. So this is £9.99 as well. So Usborne is so much more than just a book publisher. We have so many games, activities for people to enjoy and invest in. So that was a very quick fire showing of loads and loads of books. I hope that was useful. What I would love to know from you guys is, which books have you sold so far, if any, for Easter? Which are you planning on selling? What have you seen tonight that maybe you hadn't seen in a while, or you'd never seen before that you're thinking about selling? Where are you going to be selling your books? Someone that lives on my estate, she's not a bookseller, she has a craft business, and every seasonal event, she organises a treasure hunt round our estate, where like she'd put like a Halloween picture in like how many houses' windows that volunteered to do it, or a Christmas one, and the kids have to go round the estate and find all the pictures. And then at the end, she gives them something from her craft business. You could 100% do that with books in your local area. The parents pay, if you think what you pay for your kids to go somewhere, and she charges about £5, organises it, and then everyone pays her £5 and their child gets something at the end, which is way cheaper than most of the things that you would be expected to do. So it's kind of like a look for a book, but you're not asking for sponsorship. You're just getting your local area involved, and the kids all get a book, which you could work out the cost of the book and charge it. And you could do it quite personalised, because different books for different ages of children. But there's so many different things that you can do with the books. I'm always on the lookout for what other people are doing for a variety of things and whether that could work for you guys. So it's worth thinking of, like, could you do something like that in your local area? It wouldn't take much to organise. You get the money in advance, then you've got it to order the books. I'm going to start browsing through some of your comments. Okay, so Claire Allen. Claire sells loads and loads on market stalls and has done a very nice video for tools and downloads. If you're watching that, so Claire's saying farm sounds is a good one. Ellie, good to see that Easter is on your to-do list. I think Vicky Gregory, you've seen my weakness as a parent. It's like practice what you preach, apart from I don't really practice what I preach. I'm just telling you guys all the stuff that I probably should be doing as a parent, but don't do as a parent, or maybe did with my daughter, but not with my son. But people are definitely buying for Easter. Even if you're not, think about the organised people that are buying for Easter, it's definitely not too late to get in with the baby and toddler groups that will be doing the Easter themed activities. Like, I don't know if you remember that from maternity leave, or if you're on maternity leave where you feel like you're absolutely insane because you're wearing rabbit ears and singing a crazy song in a baby group. But a great opportunity for you guys to just like really get on board with the Easter. It could be a second Christmas if you commit to Easter, and the joy that it can bring. And also, the book as an alternative to chocolate, which, let's face, also as parents, I definitely end up eating half of the chocolate that my kids get given for Easter. So it'd save me eating all the chocolate if my kids got given books instead. Freya, thank you very much. You sold a lot of Sticker Dolly Easter, and the new Easter sticker bunnies book would look good. Okay, Freya, you usually do Easter bags and hampers. Please keep the ideas coming. I would suggest breakout rooms, but everyone hates a breakout room, and usually half the people leave in a breakout room. Then no one talks in the breakout room. So I'm going to make you just add to the comments where you're selling things. Bethan, could you please tell us what you are putting in your Easter bags? How much you're charging, so what other people could do? Or if you're happy to speak, Bethan, so people don't have to hear my voice for the next 7 minutes, then Bethan, where are you? If you don't want to speak, that's absolutely fine. But if you do, that would be great.
Hiya. Yeah, no, I don't mind talking. So I'm charging £1 extra. So most of the books that I've sold are £5.99, so I'm selling the bags for £7. And then they've literally got a magic painting sheet in, a paintbrush that I've brought a bulk load off Amazon, a colouring page thing that I've printed off Canva, and a box of crayons, a chocolate lolly, and that's basically it, I think. Yeah, everything. So in a little bag that I got off Amazon, or a little paper bag, that because I only had 20 bags off Amazon, so the rest are having paper bags. But yeah, they're really popular. I did them last year as well, so.
They sound amazing. And yeah, 25 times 7, you're doing pretty well with your ordering and your volume. Thank you so much for sharing, Bethan. Freya, are you happy to talk about your Easter bags and hampers? And what you do with those? Okay. Freya, if you're there, please let us know. Or if you can't talk because you've got a child in the background or whoever else, then please, if you could add any extra info in the comments, that would be great. No problem, Freya. If you're able to type in the chat, that would be fab, of what you usually put in your Easter bags and hampers. And also, Bettina, welcome, that you've just joined. So lovely to have you here, and Ellie as well. It's so great to have you guys here for ideas. Carrie, you're a seasoned partner. What do you usually do at Easter?
You're gonna wish you didn't pick on me, because I don't do a fat lot for Easter. I personally, it's not something that we do as a family very big, so I don't tend to go big. I stock a lot of the springtime books so that if I'm then left with them after Easter, it doesn't matter, because I can sell them all year round rather than the Easter heavy ones. But personally, unless people order Easter books off me, I don't really do much. I'm still snowed under with World Book Day stuff at that point usually.
So yeah, Carrie's your school's queen. But that is a good tip, that if you are nervous about stocking up, or you're wondering about quantities, then like definitely go down the farm route or the springtime route, so that you can keep selling them afterwards. Marianne, you're going to regret commenting because you know what's coming. Could you tell us about your farm event?
Yes, I can. Hang on. Let me turn my camera on. I'm not too shy. Hello. Yes, I have a regular slot at a farm near where I live. I probably go about 4 or 5 times a year. I am their book lady. I have a big one at Christmas there. Easter, we do summer. They have lots of different activities and events that happen. And whenever I see an event all advertised on Facebook, I message them and I just say, can I come along? Can I bring my books? Sometimes I bring a reading corner with me. So a couple of the foam roll-out mats that you get, and a couple of cushions, bean bags, set up a little corner in the corner of their barn, and let the children come and read some of my own kind of Osborne books that I have, old ones for my children, and then sell new ones as well.
That sounds
So
fab.
yeah,
How
they
did you
do.
get in? How did you get in with them in the first place?
By eating breakfast with Nicola there quite a lot, to be quite honest. It's just a place I frequent with my own children to see the animals, and somewhere I go for the coffee shop, and I've always kind of supported them and been quite friendly there. And one day I just asked them if I could sell books there, and they said yes. And that was about 4 years ago, I think.
Which is a fab tip if you're starting out. Think about where you go, and is there the opportunity for you to pop up with your books, like where you've already got those relationships and you've already got those people. Lots of people seem to be doing the Easter bags and books. And if you're not miserable like myself and Carrie, then clearly you're going to invest in those and enjoy them. I think with Poppy, my first, I bought all the seasonal books for everything. It's just my poor second child's missing out. Hopefully I'm not the only parent that is like that. But yeah, like, make the most of the parents that are keen and they want to get excited for every opportunity, because those are your great customers.
Lucy, another top tip I've got is to print out those activity sheets you get on either Quick Links or on our website. Take those to somewhere like a farm that does activities and events and say, I can give these free, to your participants. Can I have a bookstall as well? Kind of thing. Sometimes they're a good way in to getting a stall at a place.
Yeah, definitely. And we do have on March the 6th a all partner training all about the Osborne website and making the most of that. So particularly if you're newer, definitely do come along to that to see like all the stuff that is free and available for you to download and use with your customers. And again, yeah, a lot of our books are tear out. So if you're happy to sacrifice one $5.99 book to have loads of different activities that then might encourage people to buy the full price book, then it's definitely a good thing to do. Karen, another seasoned partner, are you an Easter lover?
I am more like Kerry, actually. So I'm still, come Easter, I'm still doing a lot of Will Book Day stuff, tying Ready Steady Reads up and Ready Steady Listens. But I also do a look for a book as well at Easter time. So that gets the kiddie winks out looking for books as well.
Which is perfect. And if you are not familiar with Look for a Book, they are absolute genius. There are some great videos from Charlotte and Paul on tools and downloads to definitely watch and get involved in a Look for a Book. Particularly, it's great to get your own children involved in hiding the books and enjoying that activity and just spreading some book-based joy. And thank you so much to all the people that are adding comments and ideas. I think it doesn't matter how long you've been a partner for, there's always something that someone's doing that maybe you hadn't thought of doing. And yeah, would love to get involved with. So before we go, could you please add into the comment 3 things? One, which if you are, if it's not your first year and your first Easter as an Osborne partner, what's been your best-selling Easter book in the past? 2, what is your favourite book that you have seen today that maybe you haven't seen before? So this could be any of the new books. It doesn't have to be an Easter themed book. And 3, which book are you definitely wanting to sell that is Easter themed? So 1, if you have done an Easter before with Osborne, what was your best-selling Easter book? 2, what was your favourite focus book that wasn't Easter related that I showed? And 3, what book have you discovered today that you maybe have forgotten about or have never seen before that you thought, yeah, this looks great, I'm definitely going to try and sell this?
Michaela McCullum, cookie job for 15 years. My family is 30 years. It was my son had died. And the whole world.
And this is fascinating. And again, if you are newer and you're wanting to stock up for your events, or if you're not new, but you get asked all the time by your new team members which books they should be investing in or would be a good investment, then it's definitely worth reading the comments. Marianne, I'm glad I've brought the farm sounds back into your repertoire. It'll be good for your farm events. Magic Painting Easter. Kerry, you will love Sarah Hagholt's new book. It is amazing. Lots of people still talking about the bags. Thank you so much for sharing all your tips and ideas for other people to make the most of. Kerry, what Easter book, like, and the wrong question for you, but which Easter book was your favourite that you want to sell? And you're going to have to name one. Although you've given me Magic Painting Easter, so, you know, you've tried. Claire, yeah, you've gone for a adventure game book. Marianne, you're going to buy the little chick. And if nothing else, the dance is a talking point for everyone. Stick a dolly dressing, find the duck. I'm going to try the one little chick. Kerry's looking forward to dogs and puppies, 190 things on the farm. This is great, seeing so many different books on the list that people are excited about, and so lovely to see so many new partners on here that are really looking to build their businesses. So massive thank you for joining me this evening with my very whistle-stop tour of far too many books, but hopefully a good array, and hopefully next time Holly's doing a session. Holly is brilliant, probably a lot more professional and slick than I am, and you'll see her doing one of these sessions at some point, and the next project session, you'll be relieved to know, unless she's ill, will be done by Alison, so it won't be me. But yes, hope that was useful. Thank you so much for joining me, and enjoy the rest of your evenings, everyone.